Hello class. Today in class we started relations and we were able to define what an actual function is compared to what a relation was. And I'm sure we all remember, but just for a reminder, a relation sets our inputs with our outputs, while a function, each input can only have exactly one output. So on our mapping diagrams, if we remember, there can only be one arrow going from our input, or our x values. Our x values can only have that one y value, that one output. So we're going to talk about tonight functions as equations. The first thing we need to define, though, is our function rule. A function rule is an equation that describes the relationship between our inputs and outputs. Our inputs, our x values, as we know, represent the independent variable in our equation. Or, if you remember from other classes such as science, the quantity that can change freely. While our y values, our outputs, depend solely on that x value. Can anyone think of in their heads right now what exactly a common function rule is in the form we use? I could help you out. It's our slope-intercept form, that y equals mx plus b. For our function rule, we need to have their y by itself. Remember that. So, going off of words to write our function rules, we have, for example, the output is 5 less than the input. And as you can see, that is written as our y is equal to x minus 5. 5 less than. So that 5 needs to go after our input. And for the second one, the output is the square of the input. I'm sure many of you are thinking of the square root symbol, that radical symbol that we went over a few weeks ago. However, we need to remember also that our square is our x times our x. For something else, if we're given our function rule and our input, so our x, what do we have to do to solve for our y? On the example on the bottom there, we have that our function rule is y equals 2x plus 5, and our x is equal to 3. So we just plug and chug. We plug in that 3 where that x is, so we get 2 times 3 plus 5. So our y is equal to 11. It's as simple as that. So now we're going to do a little activity with exploring these function rules. Here is our function machine. We're going to put in our x values, our inputs. It's going to work through the machine, and the machine's going to spit out what our y is. Now it's up to us to try to guess exactly what that rule is. So I'll decide the first input. It's very easy to start with a 1. That's a simple one. And a 0.5 came out. So our function rule could either be x divided by 2, or it could be x minus 0.5. We'll put in a 3, just to be sure, and figure it out. So we got a 1.5. I believe that would be our x is divided by 2. So that was our function rule. If you notice, we're looking at our inputs and how we got to our outputs. We'll do one more. We'll put in a 4 this time, make it a little tougher. So this one could either also be divided by 2, or it could be subtracting 2. How about we put in a 6? I think it's divided by 2 again. Let's find out. We figured it out again. So actually this website is on our website for the class. So I recommend you play around with that a little bit tonight. And just complete the form and send it back to me by 9:30 tonight, please. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night.